Hey guys, I think it's time that I update my TreeTopFlier powder stand for the League Classic Turret Press videos. I've got a couple out there now and they're kind of outdated and some of the information has changed. I've learned a few things along the way thanks to some people who've already purchased. So I wanted to come out and just kind of consolidate those other two videos. We'll pull those and put a fresh one up. So what this is about this stand that I designed to fit over the top of your classic turret press. And what this does is it gives you the ability to use a drum style powder measure, any one, RCBS, Lyman, Redding, this is a Hornady, any of them that have the standard 7/8 by 14 threads, same as the dies. So if you had a powder measure that you wanted to use over the top of your press, that's what this thing does. So that's the basic function that we're looking at here. It's I made it fully adjustable, so you can set the height. This is the base. This part I just leave on. Sometimes I take this off. Most of the time I just leave it sitting up here, and if it's in the way, if I'm doing something else, I'll just swing it over like this. It doesn't bother me. Sometimes I will actually use it when I'm doing single stage work. I'll actually use it with a loading tray, you know, just to old school or singles. So it just kind of gives you a place for it. If you have one of these style presses, it gives you the ability to load using that right over the top. So why would I do that? Well, these tend to be a little bit more accurate. I designed this to be as isolated as possible from the movement of the press, so that it's not up there jiggling around while you're operating the press. Also, it takes the weight off of the turret. So some people have said, you know, hey, Treetop, they've got mechanisms where you can mount it right on top of it. When you get a full load of powder in this metal cast piece up here, that's a lot of weight sitting up there. So I just prefer not to have that much weight on the press, and I also prefer to have this sitting isolated as much as possible, but still in the same footprint of the press. So that was what I wanted to do. So I thought I'd show you the operation a little bit here, just so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. So I got some 300 blackout here. I got some 110 grain TNTs and some H110 powder. These cases are already primed inside, so I don't have my die in that station there. So we'll just go through. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. So normally you come up in your sizing die, come around, take your powder drop, do your bullet seat, do a light crimp, do a couple more here just to show you the flow of things. So it does take a little bit of adjustment from the way you're probably used to doing it. I know I had to be careful. A couple times I wanted to drop the ram, and it just wasn't. I've actually taken a charge with the ram at the bottom, just got out of sequence and dumped powder all over the place. So, but you get it figured out pretty quick and get in a flow, and it's easy when you're not talking. So, anyway, that's it. So I just want to show you one thing I really found. Somebody commented on it on one of the videos, and I noticed I like it too, and it's kind of unexpected. One thing I really like, and I don't know why, but I really like watching the powder drop and seeing that it shut off, the drop is complete. Something, I don't know, satisfying about it, I guess. It just, normally when you do this charging, you don't get to see the powder go into the case. So for me, it's just kind of one of those things. I just like the way it looks. It gives me just this kind of confidence feeling. So that's what I say. That's what it looks like when you reload with it. One thing where this powder measure setup really shines is for guys loading 300 blackout, particularly with H110 or some of those other fine pistol powders. If you have used the auto drum, this is a pretty good powder measure, but for the the finest of powders, like H110, you know that they leak out of this area down here, and they pile up all over the top of the turret. and they just make a mess, and it's annoying, and it's not the way things are supposed to be. So you guys will appreciate being able to put this style powder measure right over the top of your turret press. That's definitely been a bonus. When I first made this, I made it before this was made, and I wanted more capacity, and like I said, I wanted the stability, but the one place that it's really shined is with these fine powders and still being able to utilize the turret press. I want to talk a little bit about the rifle charging dies that Lee has. They offer 2 rifle charging dies. These don't have any expanding to them. All they are is just a way for the powder to dispense and go on through into the case. So there's a large rifle. This is something you use on 30-06, 308, something like that. This one is sort of an intermediate or small rifle. So the small one is good for, you know, any of your 223 base cartridges, the 300 Blackout, Grendel, any of those style. So I'm using the small one here. Now, one thing I didn't cover before was adjustment, and I think that's kind of important. I just didn't think about it. So the adjustment goes, let me get a case here. So you want to adjust this. There's a little floating tube in here. Let me show you what that looks like. This thing right here, and it's sort of I don't know, an adapter, I guess. It's sort of a funnel within a funnel, maybe. And its job is really the case comes up, pushes on that, and moves it up to the top. Now, normally, if you had a case-activated powder dispenser, this would be the part that pushes on that. But in this case, we're using the funnel adapter. So we want to bring this up to where we come up just real close to this funnel adapter, so that all the powder goes right down through there and into the case, and we don't have any chance for it to, you know, for a big gap in here for the powder to get around the outside. We want to make sure that this is pretty close when you're up at the top of the stroke, so that everything goes right down the middle without leaking around the outside. Hopefully I'm making sense with that. So that was something that wasn't readily clear to some of the people that purchased first, is how this was all set up. So I want to be a little bit more clear about that. Guys, let me bring you in here and just kind of show you what this looks like from some different angles so you can see it. You got your adjustable handles here. You can seize these down and lock it in place. This is my original one. Or this is my old one here. So it's a little rough looking, but I just want you to see what it looks like. You know, kind of get a good look at it here. Also, I built this one for my single stage press just to see, just sort of a prototype one. But having this stand here gives you the option to do other mount styles for other powder dispensers. This one is sporting the Lee Perfect powder measure. This little guy is really a good powder measure, especially for stick powders. They don't cut. It doesn't cut stick powders like the metal drums do. So, you know, I actually went back and built this one. I had one originally, and then I made a nicer one that fit better, and that's what this one is. So the stand lends itself to accessories, so I may look into doing that if people are interested. I also have a video on my Instagram, and I'll try to get it into this. If I can find the raw video, I'll try to put a little bit of it in there on this video so you can see of me with another mount with a drill running the quick trim, the Lee quick trim. So I'll put that up there too if I can find it. I just want to show that it lends itself to the possibility of doing other things. Here's one that's completed. Some of the changes from one of the original videos is I've got this closed off. It looks a lot neater. You can see I'm running 2 nylon washers there to cut the friction down, just to keep it nicer. Another thing I wanted to show you that I forgot to mention before was this part, this riser. I'm just bluing this with gun blue and oiling it so that it doesn't rust. The reason is because it goes up inside here, and there's no way to keep the scratches off of it. It fits pretty snug. So rather than painting it and just scratching it up, I decided to just blue the metal. So I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Holes. Let's talk about holes. So far of the ones I've shipped, I haven't had anybody that had any trouble with the hole pattern working on their press. Now I only have a sample size of 1, but Lee seems to be consistent with the hole pattern, but that could change. I try to leave a little room around the outside for it, but you know, if you get into a situation where the holes don't line up perfectly, just know that you may have to run a 3/8. These are 5/16, the same as the press, but you may have to run a 3/8 through and just kind of open up those holes a little bit. Also, a lot of people use 1/4 inch, so you shouldn't have any trouble. You should have enough play in there if you're using 1/4 inch bolts to go through. What else? I need to say that, you know, these are handmade by me out of tube steel. You know, just stock steel like this, and I use plate metal, 1/8 inch plate metal, and I cut this all by hand. So there's quite a bit of work that goes in it, but I just want to show you that, you know, I'm a hobbyist, so this is a hobby for me, and these are not going to be super duper perfect like made on a machine and cut by CNC. So they're cut with grinders. I just want to make that clear. There's going to be some paint imperfections in them. I try to make them look as nice. I don't think they look too bad, and everybody's been happy with them so far, but that I talked to. But just, you know, just know that these are handmade. You can see the raw welds in here where I've tacked these little plates on. I try to grind them smooth and make them look nice, but I do want to make you aware of that. Okay, so one last thing that came up, and one of the reasons I wanted to remake this video is because you live and learn. So here's the deal. If you guys are using these Lee bench plates, this can turn out to be sort of a headache. So these bench plates, somewhere along the way, Lee started rolling up this edge here, and because they want to make this stiffer. And this thing, the way I originally designed it, it fits almost all the way down to your bench. So what happened was, this part right here, hopefully I'm getting that in the shot, it would actually interfere with it out here. So some of the guys I had originally gotten these worked with me, and we came up with a couple different solutions. One of them was I actually redesigned the plate. So now at the moment, currently as I'm making this video, I have 2 plate designs. This one fits on, this one will fit on here over your stand with enough lift so that it doesn't interfere. It's just a little bit shorter. I don't know if I can help you see that or not. Just a little bit, can't hold it. It's a little bit shorter this way, and it sits up a little bit higher because it has bigger plates in here to lift it up. Again, I built this to be as stable as possible. That's why it's made out of heavy steel and all that. So what else? What else? Oh, another thing that happened was these plates come in and they ship with these. These are called elevator bolts. Whenever they're flat on the base and they have this little thing that goes up in these square holes, that makes it an elevator bolt. Now, because you put all this stuff on there, you actually need a little bit longer than it ships with. So you need about a 2-inch elevator bolt in the 1/4 inch, 1/4 I think they are. So for me, just to test my fix, I actually got some carriage bolts, which that's what these look like, carriage bolts, only carriage bolts are rounded on top, and I just ground them flat to make my own elevator bolts, because that's what they had at Lowe's. But just be aware that that would be something you need if you decided to have me ship you one of these as opposed to the original size. So, live and learn, huh? Appreciate the guys who helped me work through this. That was a big help. I didn't see that coming. All the pictures online actually showed it being flat here. I guess those were old pictures. All right, so that's all I've got for the powder stand. Like I said, I'm over on Instagram at TreeTopTube, and there's some pictures over there. You can see them. been a little bit of an evolution of a project here. I really like it. I actually use it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's kind of evolved with me, and so the guys that I've talked to have them, they're liking them so far. So hopefully some of them will come back and comment on this new video. I'm not going to talk about price or anything in here. All the shipping information, all the latest up-to-date information is going to be down in the description. So click down there. I'll have all that down there, and I can edit that. I cannot edit the video. So that was a mistake I made. I talked about price and shipping and all that stuff, and as things evolve, it gets outdated, and they don't let you come back and edit videos anymore or put any little, fixes in. So you have to get it right the first time. So hey, if you like the channel, I'm going to invite you to subscribe. Also, click the like button. Let people know what you think of the idea, and go ahead and shoot me a comment down the bottom. I appreciate it. You guys take care. Be safe.